So we did have our reps meeting today as planned. So I met with both of the sales reps and we had the business owner with us in the room. It was a good session, good start. We took them through what we had created so far with the sales plan and shared each of the ideas that the owner and I had. And the reps seemed pretty happy with everything that we had in it so far. We also added a couple more things to the plan, which was obviously the whole idea of getting them involved to get their input. So the individual client lists that I mentioned in our last video have been updated with those additional sections for the information that we wanted with the different categories, and they've been forwarded to the reps. The reps only came back to work in the middle of last week for the year, so they've only been back a few days, and they now have those sheets. The aim is for those categories to be updated by each rep. So we're going to have each of the clients categorised a 1, 2 or a 3 based on how much scope we think there is for expanding what they're buying from Bisky. And we also discussed the idea of case studies and testimonials, which sound the same, slightly different. So the way we look at a testimonial is it's a nice happy story about somebody saying something great about the business and a quote from them with their name and the company that they work for. Whereas a case study is more specific and focuses on measurables and comparable scenarios. So we actually want both. The reps are really keen to have both. They think that a good set of case studies and testimonials are going to be beneficial, which makes sense, to help them both upsell, cross-sell to existing customers, but also when it comes time to presenting Bisgear services to completely brand new customers, obviously they're going to be useful as well. So we already have a few testimonials which we're planning on using. We've just got to collate them. They're kind of scattered, so they're not in any sort of organised format at the moment. So that's something that hopefully we'll have some progress on that by next week. And then the case studies are going to take a little bit more effort to put together, but we talked the reps through the ideas of how we want to put the case studies together, and they're pretty confident. In fact, they're actually thinking there's a couple of specific clients where we can put together some instant case studies based on some really obvious measurable improvements that they've delivered to a few of their clients only recently. So that's good for a start. So hopefully when we catch up next week, they'll have those 3 things. So the client lists filled in, we'll have found the testimonials, and even hopefully started on at least 1 or 2 case studies, which will be great. We also discussed the idea of the client audits or client visits with the reps, and the checklists that I also mentioned in the last video on outlining what we're currently providing to the clients versus what they're using, so that we can start to plan to introduce new lines and new product categories to those clients. And the reps love that idea. That was that was received with quite a bit of enthusiasm, and they seem pretty keen. Rep number 1 in particular, rep number 1 because she's got the most clients and is the better salesperson. She's really keen. We've given her a financial target to aim for, and she's into it. She's really keen to hit that target, and anything that we can give her to help her get there, she's on board. She wants to know about it. So overall, for the first formal session, and actually that's the first time that I met Rep 1, it went pretty well. So we now need to stay focused and consistent, because it's real easy, especially with salespeople, it's real easy to come up with great ideas and talk about how terrific things would be if we did X, Y, or Z. But my job is to actually make sure that we implement these things, and we implement them in a sensible way that's going to stick. So we're starting simple. We have those 3 objectives for next week, and it's going to be interesting to see how we go, just getting those 3 basic simple little things done. The audit check sheets that we want to launch by next week, we've already worked out what format it basically needs to look like, so it shouldn't be difficult. We're going to deliver those in just a physical printout format for the reps to use each day. And then for the calls that they make, they're just going to fill in a sheet for each client they're at and just bring, because they're in the office every morning, so they're just going to bring the previous day's sheets back, and we will collate those into a manageable, centralized format, and then start setting individual goals for individual clients and working our way through those week by week through the sales meetings. So we're off and rolling with the strategic sales plan for 2025.